Joining us right now, conservative columnist Dr. Gina Loudon. Gina, good to see you. Thanks so much for joining us.
Great to be with you.
Your reaction?
I agree with what the president tweeted this morning. I was expecting some big bombshell. You know, I was expecting something on the whole Russian collusion thing. And basically, Comey said, no, there's no there, which is exactly what Trump has said all along. And we find out that Comey's a leaker. And we find out that if any influencing was done, it was done by Loretta Lynch. It was a fascinating day.
Yeah, the Loretta Lynch stuff really stayed with me as well, because for her to say to him, treat this as a matter, call it a matter, not an investigation, I thought that was very telling.
Very telling. And here's the thing that I think you have to keep in mind with this. You know, you look at motivations, a thief is never caught the first time. So what else had Comey been having in terms of back channel conversations? I think that needs to be investigated, because obviously if Loretta Lynch thought that he was approachable in that way, she had some reason to think that. You just don't go to the director of the FBI and have a conversation like that at first blush.
Yeah, Dagan, what are your takeaways here?
There was a lot that we found out about President Trump, and he was vindicated in many ways in terms of the president never tried to block the Russian probe. In fact, he encouraged it by saying, and this was in the prepared testimony, if some of my satellites did something wrong, it'd be good to find that out. He was assured 3 times, as he had said, as was incorrectly reported in the media by the likes of other networks and newspapers, that he was not under personal investigation.
Right.
Let me interrupt you on that one, because that's the thing. Jim Comey told him 3 times, you're not under investigation. But Jim Comey failed to say that publicly.
The only thing that
I want to throw that out, because I believe that's one of the reasons he got fired.
I just saw a seasoned political operator in Jim Comey sitting in front of that Senate panel, worried about protecting his own image and looking like an Eagle Scout. And I was appalled that particularly the Republican senators on that panel did not push him more on, if you were disturbed and upset by President Trump's suggestion that you stop looking into Michael Flynn, and you thought that your job was on the line because of it, that there was some quid pro quo, why didn't you report that?
Go to the White House
counsel, the Attorney General.
Go to legal counsel.
Or the White House counsel. You prepared a resignation letter when you were acting Attorney General to President Bush over wiretapping, but you had every intention of keeping your job as the head of the FBI. You continued to have private phone conversations with the president, but you were so unnerved by this interaction with him. This does not add up.
No.
And so if you have to treat the witness as not some pure altar boy, but as somebody who has worked in Washington for the vast majority of your career. And that's what I take issue with.
Why do you start taking memos from the first moment you meet the guy, and not after, you know, you feel like he's a liar? After the first handshake, you start keeping memos. You've never kept memos of any other president. My reaction to that is, well, you knew you were spying on him. Hey, let's get the elephant out of the room. There was spying going on here. Was it the FBI doing the spying? Is that why he needed to take memos? Because he knew, well, look, I'm spying on this guy.
And where are the memos on the whole Hillary investigation? Why is nobody asking about those as well? Because
let's hope he doesn't have them, because he is a private citizen now. These things are privileged. We know he's leaking them. Isn't that a federal offense? Didn't he just admit to that under oath, that he took privileged confidential documents and he's leaking them?
And where
whether he's a private
and he
citizen
hides
or not.
behind the idea, oh, I leaked it because I thought he was going to lie about it. As if that's a relevant reason to leak. You're the head of the FBI.
Let me finish. He leaked it because he wanted the special counsel appointed. He said that in the testimony.
That doesn't take away that it's a federal offense.
It's not his decision to do it that way.
That he committed a crime. He gave it to a private citizen
and it was to protect
leaked.
his own reputation. I mean, if there's one hashtag that came out of this, I think it's that Comey loves Comey, and that was very clear.
And there should be a special prosecutor to figure out where these are.
But on the flip side of this is not going away for the president.
No.
You still have Robert Mueller as a special counsel looking into it. Judge Napolitano believes that Mueller will eventually have to interview the president of the United States under oath, potentially in private. So this is a problem that will still hang over the White House. And pointing out these Republican senators who didn't do a better job of grilling Comey, that goes to the agenda. what happens with this agenda? Are all these individuals looking out for themselves, be it a Democrat or a Republican? And what does it mean for what the American people truly care about? And that's their livelihoods.
I think that what the markets did yesterday was very telling. I think that the general public, I agree with you that it's going to go on and on and on, but I think that there is just, the general public has their mind made up one way or another.
They believe it's coming. They do still believe and expect tax reform. Look at the market yesterday.
Absolutely.
If they didn't expect tax reform, you would have seen.
You wouldn't have.
Well, the market also moved off of the Dodd-Frank repeal in the House, as well as the ECB leaving rates unchanged. I mean, so I think there were a couple market-moving events that happened, especially when it came to the House.
Real quick.
Yeah, well, Dagan is talking about Comey as the master chess player here. Trump was quiet yesterday until today with the tweet. Is that the right move? Quiet or tweeting?
I think both. I think he measured it perfectly. I think that the quiet, letting his attorney speak, letting others speak for him. You know, you always tell your kids, don't defend yourself, let others defend you. But so I think, and then tweeting this morning to let everybody know nothing's changed.
I think their response got an F-. You don't have the White House spokeswoman saying the president is not a liar during the testimony. You don't have an attorney, your personal attorney, come out and read a statement saying, quote, end quote, close quote.
Trump's quietness on Twitter was existing yesterday.
All right, we'll leave it there. Dr. Gina Loudon, thanks so much for weighing in this morning.